Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the use of generative artificial intelligence tools in English classes. We are going to explore our perspectives from key stakeholders. Our objectives today are to identify challenges and opportunities and negotiate a common understanding. I am Lina, I am a teacher. Ricardo is the professor, Victor and Elver are the students, and finally Juan Carlos is the employer. We are going to begin with our introductions and the initial statement. Okay, guys, I'm going to start. In my personal opinion, as a teacher, I strongly believe that generative artificial intelligence tools can enhance learning. They offer personalized feedback, help students with diverse needs, and expose them to real-world application of English. But remember, it's very important that they have a proper guidance, okay? Because in that way, those tools can be transformative and very effective in education. So, Victor, tell me, what do you think about my idea?
Well, Lina, honestly, I'm not into those kind of tools. However, I want to say that I'm disagree with you. Why? Because I think these tools can make us as students over reliant. I mean that these tools reduce our motivation to think critically or develop our language skills. For instance, in the process of learning English authentically, I think we just can copy and paste AI tools answers. That means that we don't do an effort to do the things well, but just to make things easier. So this is my point of view. What do you think, Elber?
Mhm.
Okay, Victor. Also, I understand your concerns, Victor. In this case, I see these kind of tools as a helpful assistant. It provides instant corrections and suggestions, helping us identify mistakes and learn faster. That's why I agree with this kind of tools. It's not about replacing effort, but enhancing it. Uh, Ricardo, you as a professor, I think you have a broader academic perspective. So what do you think about these tools in English classes?
Thank you, Elver. Yes, I couldn't agree more with you guys, with Lina and Elver. And yeah, so taking into account my experience as a professor at university levels, and from academic perspective, I would say that generative artificial intelligence aligns very well with modern teaching technologies. As Lina mentioned, we have a lot of advantages. It fosters creativity, assists students and teachers with academic writing, and supports learner a variety of proficiency levels, starting from A1 to C2 level. It is very important to say that this, when it is used ethically, it is a valuable resource. However, I understand Victor's opinion. That's why we as teachers, we need to start educating not only our students, but also families about the use of generative artificial intelligence in our English classes. Juan, what's your opinion about this topic from your perspective as employer?
Okay, guys, in my personal opinion, I disagree with the use of generative artificial intelligence, GenAI, techniques in English lesson as employer in the education industry. Instead of relying on GenAI tools, I propose and changing traditional teaching method with accessible or advanced technologies. For instance, using interactive learning platform, collaborative tools, and multimedia resource can effectively engage students without compromising their learning experience or ethical principles. Thank you.
But Juan Carlos, it is a challenge. challenge that we have to face. I, as a teacher in elementary and high school, I know it's very nice to use interactive learning platforms, collaborative tools, and multimedia resources. They can engage students without compromising their learning experience or ethical principles, but I think that it's very important to teach students to use the artificial intelligence with ethically, okay? And there is another concerns. Some teachers says that those kind of tools are going to replace the role of a teacher, but I don't think so. It doesn't replace the support and insight which a skilled teacher brings to their learning journey. The main challenge is ensuring students use these tools ethically, as I said before. If unchecked, they could misuse them for assignments rather than learning. So the teacher needs training to monitor and guide a proper usage. That is my opinion. I don't know if there is a student that wants to complement my argument.
Sure, Lina. However,
Okay.
I think, for example, taking into account the different places that the students live, for example, the students that live in the urban area and the city area, for those that doesn't have equal access to these tools, it's important to see how we can provide this kind of tools. Besides that, I think that we could rely on too much in these tools to shortcut the ways for not doing the task and develop our critical thinking. So for that reason, it's important to take that into account, because another issue that I think concern is that when we use these kind of tools, we present the results as our own, and we don't give the credit to the AI sources. And in this way, we can commit plagiarism. And see, this is very important to take that into account. What's your opinion about that, Elber?
Okay, Victor, that's valid, but in this case, the schools could address this by providing access to devices and the internet. You know, Victor, with careful implementation, the advantages break the risks involved. Or what do you think, Professor Ricardo?
Thank you, Elver. Yeah, as Victor said, like we as professors and teachers, we are worried about plagiarism because that's a reality. Like the students can take their own credits without giving it to the artificial intelligence. But I think that GenAI tools can help to teach about academic integrity. It means that students need to understand the ethical use of artificial intelligence. If they understand it, I think they are better prepared for real world challenges. But it is important to add that this artificial intelligence has the potential to transform the language teaching and learning, specifically when teaching English as a foreign language reality. But it must be integrated in our classroom, as Lina mentioned, with responsibility and ethics. That's why we as teachers, we need to start teaching students and families how to use artificial intelligence correctly. And just to finish, collaboration and research must shape the future of artificial intelligence. And this will not only benefit learners, but also teachers all around the world. And Juan, what are the challenges you might face as employer?
Okay, my goodness. In the teaching and learning process, we found a lot of challenges, even with the ethical guidelines. Our use of GenAI could hinder students from developing interpersonal and problem-solving skills, which are crucial in the professional environments. Thank you.
So guys, think about the advantages that these kind of tools offer us as teachers. A lot of opportunities. For example, it allows teacher to personalize lesson, catering to individual students' needs. For instance, the generative artificial intelligence can adapt to a student learning pace and provide additional resources for improvement. So that is also wonderful. Many teachers are already making effective use of these new technologies in their classes. I think that is mandatory nowadays. The generative artificial intelligence is used in a supporting role, by reducing the time that it takes to generate content for a lesson plan, a lesson unit for a class, which is geared to individual classes or learners in terms of topics, difficulties, progress to date, specific skill profiles, preferences, or learning and behavior. So I think that those tools are very, very important for our English class.
Yes, teacher Lina, I agree with you. So it's great for practicing conversational English.
Of
AI
course.
powered chatbots can simulate real life scenarios. You see, helping
Yes.
students gain confidence before interacting with native speakers. So these kind of tools, it's also used to provide examples and ongoing feedback on errors. You see, all
Yes.
of these tools are essential elements for language learning improvement. And when used well, GenAI can become a useful study buddy within the more traditional and essential human context of learning. So I consider this very important in our classes. So thank you. That's it.
Okay, so I just want to add an example to what Elver just said, and it is a reality that here, as an example, in Colombia, we don't have like a lot of English speakers. So I see generative artificial intelligence as an opportunity to practice English with a person, I would say like a person who can give you instant feedback. So I would say that generative artificial intelligence also encourages creativity. It helps us as teachers, as Lina mentioned, to come up with different activities in the classroom. And it means that students are going to be more engaged and more motivated in our English lessons. And thus, it will be like an improvement for our language skills in general. Juan.
Okay, guys, I respect all your point of view, and I see the potentials, but only if it is balanced. Students need to learn how to use these tools without losing their ability to communicate effectively in person. That balance is the key. That's right. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. The balance is the key.
Well, personally, I think that only if generative AI is used with moderately and with proper guidelines, could complement the traditional learning methods rather than replace them. So if we take into account these important guidelines that you as a teacher and professor give us in the high school and also with our families involved, we can think that these kind of tools be better in our learning process.
Yes, that's true. Okay, guys, so I am going to close. I'm going to give a close statement. And my conclusion about this debate is the following. The generative artificial intelligence is a tool that is not a replacement for teachers. So don't be afraid of using this kind of applications in your English classes. With ethical and guidance, it can revolutionize English education. So let's make a good use of these tools. Also, guys, remember that it is very useful because the time of planning of a class is reduced thanks to this technology. Also, it fosters English creativity, as Ricardo said before, because different applications, different resources can be applied, and that makes our classes more didactic. Another point that I want to highlight here is that it also helps students to study in an autonomous way. And it reduces the cost of studying any language because it is easy to get, it is accessible, and also it is very economical. So for me, I am agree with the use of generative artificial intelligence in my English class.
Yes, teacher Lina, I agree with you. I believe this artificial intelligence represents a significant leap forward in language learning. I agree, that's why, because as you said, it offers a tailored feedback, enhances creativity, and it provides tools to practice conversational English in realistic scenarios. You see? So, and these tools will never replace your role as a teacher or as a professor. And always we have to use them responsibly. And of course, these tools is going to empower us as a students for, and this will help us to prepare for the future. That's it. That's my opinion, and that's why I agree with you, Lina.
Okay, very well. I think these kind of tools can be useful, but also risky. Without balance, it could hinder the critical thinking and widen the digital divide. So it's very important that we take into account those aspects if we want to use those tools in our classes with the teachers and something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to sum up, I'm just going to say, like, generative artificial intelligence is an opportunity to innovate. It is a reality that we have to face. So we as teachers and students, we must adapt and learn how to use generative artificial intelligence responsibly.
Okay, guys, to close this debate, while GenAI technologies could appear innovative, they are inappropriate for use in English lessons due to their possible negative effects, which include ethical concerns and the possibility of losing essential skills, encouraging real-world learning opportunities that allow students to think critically, express themselves creatively, and interact with the world in meaningful ways should continue to be a major priority. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. See you next time.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
teacher Lina. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thanks for
you. God
having
bless
me.
you.